Hey everyone, Josh here. I'm back for another week after watching Picard Season 3, this time Episode 3, 17 Seconds, which is directed by the great Jonathan Frakes, who, he was front and center for this episode. I will get into spoilers momentarily here, so be warned everyone out there. Overall, the episode was great. I thought it was another great addition to what we're getting so far. I'm really enjoying Season 3, or, Season 8 of TNG, I would like to put it. I'm liking the acting, the directing. Of course, the directing in this episode, the writing's top notch. Terry Matalas, the showrunner, is doing a great job. I really hope the show is successful and we just have him run Trek from now on. See what happens, but overall, the episode was great. It was great. A lot was happening. And of course, we got to see more Worf. We all knew that was coming. That's not really a spoiler. But that aside, before I get into spoilers, just warning everyone out there, I'm about ready to go there. So please watch the episode. Come back and join me if you'd like. I would appreciate it. That aside, let's get into spoilers. So first off, nice flashback. I thought it was really cool. The de-aging was done very well in 10 Forward when Riker and Picard are discussing Thaddeus' birth, Riker's late son. We come to know in season 1 of Picard. And they're talking about how the birth was touch and go. And that aside, first off, I'd like to address the de-aging of both actors. Very, very good job, I thought. I thought it was really well done. And it was dimly lit, so it really could hide, some of the things they weren't able to do, perhaps extra hours to put in, but they made it work, and it looked great. Frakes just pretty much got a dye job, looks like, and I'm sure they had some wrinkles taken out, but yeah, I really liked the rapport between them. It was really cool. Deanna Troi calling. I made this joke on Trek Yards. It didn't get picked up, of course. I don't know. The satire or satirist in me, is that how you say it? When she made that call, I was like, it'd be so funny if she was breastfeeding and didn't even know Picard was there. Like, get over here quick. But yeah, it was kind of funny. She kind of had that Irish mentality, like a stereotype. Like, I don't know, Leah Thompson from Back to Future 3, like, oh, you better get here, George. I don't know. I just picked up on that. It was weird. And the video call was weird, too. It's like, all right. And she didn't even address Picard, so I'm pretty sure when they recorded that, they didn't maybe know where Riker was going to be. So I thought that was kind of weird. She wasn't like, oh, hey, Jean-Luc. But, of course, his device probably only saw her or him. So I don't know. It's a nitpick. It's a little nitpick. But yeah, it was cool. It was cool. And I like they had that good conversation about, becoming a father, and Riker hoped Picard would, get to have that feeling someday. So we don't know how many years before all this took place. I'm imagining probably maybe 20 years. It's possible. Of course, we, go forward to the present, and we're on the Titan, and, they're getting their ass kicked, the Titan, by the Shriek, Vadic's ship, trying to hide in the nebula, which, you thought at the end of the last episode, at least I thought that, slam dunk, they're going to be able to hide. And for some reason, Vadic is able to locate them constantly and basically one-up them. So, yeah, that was pretty extreme. Picard and Beverly having a one-on-one. That was a good scene. The explanation for Jack, why Picard never knew about Jack. I think it was handled pretty damn well, actually, given the setup. Like, I think we were all going to be disappointed if Jack wasn't Picard's son. So, I'm happy he was. Now, they tease some, DNA manipulation in the credits, and, a lot of people were like, oh, that Jack Crusher suitcase, whatever it was, of his belongings. Like, what's going on with that? I'm sure there's another reveal coming, because Beverly doesn't even know why Jack's being pursued by Vadic, why they want him so bad. She has no idea. At least she's saying that for now. We'll see if that changes. But yeah, I thought her reasoning was justified, not the right thing to do. She should have gave him the chance, and I'm glad there's conflict, between Picard and Beverly, and Picard, he was upset, and it wasn't like this happy-go-lucky rapport like Picard had with the Rikers in season 1. It's they're playing. I mean, they're cooking. They're going through good times and bad times with these characters, between these characters, and I like that. That's what we, I think, needed before. But yeah, I thought her reasoning was, I mean, it wasn't a huge stretch. It really wasn't. I mean, I think they wrote it in pretty well. I mean, yeah, it's maybe a little stretch how Jack went to London for school and Picard was like right there in France, and it's like, hey, road trip. Hey, it's your father. Blah blah blah. But I do get that, the threat level and such. But I do like how Picard was saying, Beverly said we ended our relationship, and he said we ended our romantic relationship, basically, not our friendship. I thought that was a really strong argument, and it is funny how she was so afraid of her son being killed, from a Picard threat, but yet she takes him clear out in the galaxy, and they go up against all these Ferris Rangers. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry, they have not, to me, explained that whole thing as best they could have. I think it's getting better, but it's so vague, and perhaps there's a book out there they addressed it. I don't know, don't really care. I just like what I'm seeing this season. I'm kind of ignoring everything else. Raffi, which I do like Raphael better, how Worf addressed her, I do like that name better. Yeah, she's growing on me, and I think, from an interview, Michael Dorn did, he kind of said that he helped her acting a little bit in a nice way. Like, try this, try that. Like, I don't think she knew she could give it a couple more takes. And he was basically like, he's a veteran, so he's like, yeah, just do it. Especially, this is not his words, but, they don't shoot on film now. It's all digital, so it's like, go for it. So, I don't know. I could just be reading much into it. I don't know. But I think her and Worf really go well with each other. And I like how, yeah, they track down the shapeshifter. That was cool. I did not see that coming. I thought that was really cleverly done. Captain Foley from Trek Yards did point out that when shapeshifter lost his shape, there was like some red in it, and he said it looked gross. Like, I don't know how he phrased it, like lard or something. Yeah, I kind of miss the old look, and I get that they are trying to make it realistic. So it was kind of gross though to see it with some red in it. It's like, ugh, what the hell? It's just like this pussy looking thing. But that was a cool reveal. The Dominion War is back in play, basically, and I'm sure Lore's got something to do with that. The weapon, which we come to know, the same weapon that was used on the recruitment headquarters. Vadix got it, and she used it on Titan. And when she first launched that thing, it scared the hell out of me. I was like, whoa, my God, where are they going into? I didn't know it was a portal. So I thought that was really cool. My nitpick, I think, this week is, and I don't know, it might be budget reasons, but man, it's just like last week when Picard's like, engage, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, and the Titan's like going so slow, and it's like, you're not going to get away from the ship if you go that slow. And they're doing the same thing in the Nebula. It's like just slow as hell, and like, is the ship really that slow? I don't know. I mean, I get it, maybe you can't speed it up. I don't know the reasoning, but that aside, I loved everything I saw. Riker taking command. Oh yeah, because Shaw just oh my God, he got injured terribly, and they already gave that away. There was a clip before this episode, so that wasn't a surprise. But man, you saw bone. I don't know how I like all this blood and stuff. I'm not trying to be like Chipper Gore from the 80s or anything. But, Star Trek didn't need to be that. It never needed to be violent like it is now. And with the writing being as good, I forgive it. But I'm not a big fan. I think that's just kind of I don't know, an easy way to gain attention, maybe. More viewership. With the language, too. But, that aside, it's fine. It's funny how, the Enterprise D encounters so many shakes and hits and nobody ever flew. It's because, they didn't probably have the budget to do that. They had to get a stunt team, who knows, I don't know, to do those maneuvers. But, of course, first TNG movie Generations, they had people flying off the horseshoe and everything, over the horseshoe. So they're doing that this time. Yeah, it's very violent. Like, just sit down, buckle up. I don't know. Like, I get it. It's very dramatic and appealing, and it's cool. But yeah, that aside, Shaw, he gave command to Riker. That was cool. I like Shaw. Steve, I put his log out there. And yeah, he's not a big fan of Shaw. Actually, I was quite shocked about his dislikes for the show so far. So once we get together to put out a mission report, we'll definitely have to talk it out, and maybe he'll come around. I told him I hope he does come around. I do like Shaw. He's not your typical dick. I don't think he's. I don't agree with Steve on what he thinks of Shaw and Vadic. I thought Vadic's been handled pretty nicely. I don't think she's the worst villain. That's just my opinion. We're not going to fight, so don't worry, everyone out there. Maybe we should fight. That would probably get us a lot of views. Maybe I should throw him across the room. I can't do that. I'm not that strong. Likewise for him, I'm sure we won't do that. We won't orchestrate violence, of course, for views. We have a lot more morals than that, right? Respect for each other. There you go. But yeah, it'll be a fun discussion. Everything was great in the show. I thought Seven basically got out of the punishment she, was given. But apparently she's still confined to quarters. There's a nice nod to Voyager. She's fixing something, which I don't know what she was fixing. I've seen the episode 3 times. I don't know what the hell she was fixing. So someone out there I'm sure knows. I don't. Maybe it'll come into play later on. But yeah, I thought, for a second I thought Jack was going to die. And because I was like, I don't think I've seen any shots of him going forward, sneak peeks or anything. So I was like, shit, is he going to die? This is terrible. Then he comes back, and it was a nice moment between Picard and Beverly. And I like how Beverly was kind of one up in the new Doctor. But I thought, do you really need a scan like that to tell there's internal bleeding? Now in hospitals, I think they can tell that without scanning. I don't know, maybe not. Another nitpick, but I liked everything. Beverly, she's doing great. Gates McFadden is, top notch. They're all top notch. I think hopefully they have a respect for being able to come back and get paid, of course, I hope, and play these parts. Give it their all. I think maybe they thought they would get another film years back, or they were probably burnt out, to be honest. I bet that's another thing that was going on there. When Raffi first encountered Worf after her concussion or her trip or whatever the hell it was, I love that nod. Worf was playing the same opera, I think it was, that Picard played in First Contact. That was a great callback. That was really cool. And I love his weaponry. I love Worf. He's so cool. I was kind of bummed he didn't say son or father of Alexander. I was hoping they would, and they still could. But man, that's something they never really patched up with Alexander. I know he came back from the future or something to avenge Worf. I think that was on DS9, but I don't think after that they really did anything else with Alexander. So I would love for them to fix that. And, honestly, I'd love them to bring Wesley back, although They already did in season 2 finale, and that was kind of a mess. It was kind of cool, but not entirely, and it kind of sucks because I think it would have been really neat for him to reunite, and maybe he still will. Maybe that's a little secret. I actually did watch The Ready Room for the first time in a long time. I just got annoyed with Will Wheaton's persona on that show. He just gets really too geeky for me, and it's kind of fake. It's fake to me. And I don't like his opinions on, well, I don't want to go there. Discovery, I would say. Anyway, I loved the Ready Room. They went into the design of Titan A and talked about Doug Drexler and the Kudas and everyone else they brought back. That was really neat. And of course, Jonathan Frakes was on there, and they had a great interview, or back and forth. So it was a good episode. And of course, those are free on YouTube and Paramount Plus. But I mostly tuned in to check out the next clip from the next episode because I just couldn't wait. So yeah, they're falling into that gravity well thing still, and they're trying to maneuver out of it. Riker's like, divert all life support systems as much as you can. That's pretty much what the clip was. But yeah, that was a hell of a cliffhanger ending for this episode. Riker not happy with Picard. Picard, it kind of sucks. That would be the last word to give Picard if that's truly what's going to happen. It's not, of course. But yeah, you just killed us all. Like, whoa, shit. Like, you're a little rusty there, Captain Riker. But yeah, they kind of both call each other out on their bullshit, Riker's like, well, Riker started it. He was like, well, I know your son's on board. It's all very exciting. And then Picard later on said, you're afraid to lose someone or something like that. Of course, talking about his son. So yeah, there was a good banter between both of them. I kind of felt some of it was rushed, but it just kind of was like a bipolar thing happening between them. Mostly Riker with Picard. But yeah, I'm sure they'll patch it up in the next episode. We'll see what's going on with all that. I don't know. It's a very stressful environment they're in right now. So yeah, I was hoping they could warp out of there. But yeah, that Saboteur has something else in mind. A very Hunt for Red October vibe going on. This episode and it's probably this whole season, which is not really... it's not shocking because Terry Matalas loves that movie. And I do too. It's one of my favorites. So I really appreciate that whole thing. And then, of course, Worf and Raffi are off to the races to find out what other weapon was stolen from Daystrom Institute. I have no idea what that could be. Ugh. I just hope it's not a universe-ending weapon. I'm really tired of these plots where the universe is going to end. It's so exhausting and tiring. Like, let's just make it smaller. Like, Attack on Starfleet, so far it seems to be what they're going for. Perfect. That's all we need. We don't need the whole universe ending. It's just exhausting at this point and not really realistic. Now, the whole universe, it's up to us to... and the way they solve things, it's absurd. I also liked how Worf mentioned Odo without saying Odo's name. That was really sweet and touching, and unfortunately, Renee is no longer with us. Sorry, I can't say his last name without butchering it, but great actor, and I'm hoping we're going to get a lot of more DS9 cameos in this somehow, some way. Plenty of actors out there they could utilize. If Garrick shows up, people are going to lose their minds. I don't think it's going to happen, but never know. You never know. There is a lot on the table, and we got 7 more episodes. And another nitpick I had was how Beverly was, trying to explain why she kept Jack a secret from Picard, saying she lost Jack, she lost her parents, she lost her son Wesley, and I was like, Picard knows Wesley's your son. You don't need to say your son Wesley. You should just say Wesley. It's a stupid nitpick. It's just how I would have written it. Like, I'm not a great writer or anything. Maybe I am. I don't know. I haven't really shared anything out there, so... But I'm going to say I'm not. That was just a little annoying to me. But other than that, I thought it was pretty decent with the explanation. yeah, I really dug this episode. Vatic wasn't in it as much, really, but I love her mannerisms, her dialogue. It's not mustache twirling. I think a lot of that came off in the previews for the season. I don't know. I just lowered my critique on her when I saw her for the first time, because I've heard from other sources like she's not that type of villain, and she's not perhaps the main villain. So I'm really interested to find out more about her, and of course why they want Jack. Hopefully it's not a big stretch. I'm just so excited to see more of our legendary cast come back, and I hope it's dealt with nicely. I'm loving what they're doing with Worf. Dorn's great. Finally get to see Klingon ears. It makes them more human looking, but it's okay. I will take that over the Discovery Klingons any day, anytime. So, with that said, I'll be back next week with episode 4. Hope you guys are digging this show so far. And yeah, please like, subscribe, and comment. Keep it nice if you can. But yeah, I will be back. Everyone out there, live long and prosper.